Hello YouTube, welcome to another video here on the channel. Remember to like and sub. I'm trying to get this channel to 1,000 subs so I can monetize it and maybe 100k in the future. So Yugi Naka. Yugi Naka is the co-creator of Sonic. He made the tech demo that would eventually become Sonic the Hedgehog. But the creation of Sonic the Hedgehog is largely in part because of Naoto Oshima, who designed the character, and Dr. Eggman. I believe he designed a lot of characters within Sonic the Hedgehog. Nevertheless, the more you learn about Yugi Naka, the more you learn that he wasn't exactly the nicest person. For example, when it came to Sonic Extreme, there's a great video by Matt McMuscles where he actually sabotaged the development of the game because Sega of America, who was designing the game for the Sega Saturn, got dev kits featuring the Knights engine, and within weeks of getting it, they had to immediately stop because Yugi Naka decided that he threatened to quit the company if they continued to use the technology developed by his team, which, it just seemed like Sega of America and Sega of Japan were like at this civil war for one another despite being part of the same company. It's kind of what it's kind of what happens in Nintendo, with Nintendo Japan and Nintendo in America at odds with one another when it comes to content creation. But nevertheless, you learn that Yugi Naka doesn't really have a greatest track record, and in recent months or even a year, it became known that he kind of has an ego to himself, because when there was a celebration image for the 25th anniversary, I believe, for Knights, he like literally blacked out Oshima's image from the photo for some reason, I guess, and he would block people who even mentioned it. On top of it is that he was apparently removed from Balan Wonderworld, which was the game he was developing for Square Enix, 6 months before the game went live. Then he tried to sue the company, which I can understand, but the game came out and it was like completely just bastardized. It was like a horrible, horrible game. And when you're the co-creator of Sonic and you come out with something that, disaster, it's not looking good. But then it came out that he was allegedly involved in insider trading. So just to summarize what's going on, like, I like to summarize everything so I have a good foundation to go into the article. It became known that he bought a lot of stock from Square Enix, and he was made aware of the development of two mobile games, one for Dragon Quest and one for Final Fantasy, which, if you know anything about Square Enix, those are some of their biggest franchises of all time. And for Final Fantasy, the mobile game is getting shut down, but I believe the Dragon Quest one is doing well. Not sure about it. I don't play mobile games, but either way, these are two really big games. And he apparently bought a lot of stock and was planning to sell it when the games launch, which is insider trading. You are using confidential information only known to very exclusive people in order to manipulate the market for personal benefit. And yeah, it's not a good, like, it's really, really bad. So this comes from Video Games Chronicle. Sonic the Hedgehog co-creator Yugi Naka faces a prison sentence of 2.5 years and a fine of over 1.2 million for his part in insider trading scheme at Square Enix. I mean, wow. Like the fine, like the 2.5 years is one thing, but the fine, dear God, he will have to pay for this for the rest of his life. Albeit reports that at Tokyo District Court on Thursday, prosecutors demanded that Naka serve a prison term of 2 years and 6 months. I'm pretty sure that would have been much larger if they didn't attach the fine to it, because the fine is really where it's at. The prosecutor's office also ordered a fine of 2.5 million, 800 thousand dollars, and a supplementary penalty of 1.21 million, claiming Naka showed no signs of remorse. I mean, when you compliment everything that's happening with the tweets and the blacking out of a former colleague and blocking everyone, like, anything can be used against you in a court of law. Like, I don't know how the Japanese system works, but I've only talked to a few people when it comes to Japan. They said they're much more strict when it comes to this stuff. Like, literally defending something like this is a losing battle. Like, it's not easy. Yeah, the United States is pretty tough, but apparently once you get incarcerated, it's basically you've lost at that point. His defense has requested that the fine be reduced and the sentence be suspended. A final decision is expected to be made on July 7th. So he hasn't been finalized yet. So, I mean, we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. We'll see. Naka was charged with violating Japan's Financial Instruments and Exchange Act by illegally buying shares based on insider information. He pled guilty to the charges in March, saying that there was no doubt that he was guilty in taking part in the insider trading scheme. After his arrest in November 2022, it was alleged that Naka, who was working on Balan Wonderworld for Square Enix at the time, was made aware that the Japanese developer Eamon was working on a new Dragon Quest mobile game called Dragon Quest TAC before it was officially announced. He then reportedly bought approximately 10,000 shares of Eamon stock for 2.8 million yen. Yeah, that's kind of suspicious. With the intention of selling them once the game was announced and Eamon's stock value had increased. Now, I'm not an investigator, but if you know what the company, like, this is not being internally developed by Square Enix. It's being developed by a different studio. So it's really suspicious that you work for the company who owns the IP and you're buying stock for the developer of a game that hasn't been, publicly announced. It just like, what do you expect would happen? With the intention of selling them once the game was announced and Eamon's stock had increased. Naka was arrested for a second time in December relating to allegations that he had carried out similar insider trading after learning confidential information that Square was planning to make Final Fantasy VII The First Soldier with mobile developer A-Team Entertainment. It was claimed that Naka accessed a website containing materials and minutes of investment meetings and learned of the existence of the joint development of the new Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest games. Then, armed with this knowledge, it's claimed that he bought 1,300 shares. Yeah, dude, come on. And earned a profit of over 20 million yen, 146,000. Dude, it's 146,000? That's nothing. Like, if you're going to commit a huge crime like this, like, you should never do it because, I feel like time is more valuable than money, especially as you get older. You learn that losing 2.5 years of your life, that's no small feat. I don't know how old he is, but I'm going to say like 40, 50s. But either way, TBS News, though, quoted Naka in March saying that there's no doubt that I found out about the games before they were made public and bought shares of them. Wait, what? He actually admitted to it? Wait. This is in Japanese, so I'll take their note for it. But if he oh my god, how stupid could you be? Dear freaking Christ. I mean, it's already been done. He's been accused of it, and all that's left is whether the prosecutors can make a lenient sentence on his behalf. But chances are they're going to try and make an example of him. Because he is a public figure. Even though he didn't design Sonic the Hedgehog, he's still credited as the co-creator. He was in large part responsible for a lot of things that happened at Sega. A lot of incredible games like Knights and, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. But oh my god, this just looks so bad. And even if nothing changes, he pays the penalties and everything, his life is ruined. Because no company is going to hire him after this. They're going to look at him and say, this guy stole confidential information. Why would we ever hire him for... Like, his gaming career is over. Like, no company will hire him, especially in Japan. And in America, it'll be even worse. They'll be like, dude, you stole confidential information and you used it for your own advantage. How can we trust you ever again? There's a reason why companies make you sign NDAs. Because there is a penalty if you ever release that information in any regard. It's just like the way it is, and honestly, it doesn't seem like it seems like his life is over at this point. Maybe he can recover from this, find work in some other field, given his skill set, but it just seems like he burned so many bridges for the campaign that he went through after the release of Balan Wonderworld. So, I don't know. I like to give people second and third chances. I always believe that people can change and be better. Maybe he'll take this hard lesson and learn to better himself. Let bygones be bygones. Not, treat former colleagues like that. But I don't know. I'm just trying to offer my own opinion. Either way, Yugi Naka, what the hell happened? So tell me what you think about this situation in the comments below. Like the video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. This is me, signing out.